All right, now that we know what conduction is, let's talk about some materials that use this principle or try to fight it. The first one that goes in your note sheet is a conductor. A conductor is a material that transfers heat very well. So that's going to be like this piece of metal right here. As soon as we heat it up, we can see that heat traveling through very quickly. Some great examples of this are going to be things like metals are great conductors. Um, and those are probably some of the best ones that we have. Insulators are a material that transfers heat poorly. Now, just because we say that word poorly does not mean it's bad. That can actually be a good thing that it does not transfer heat. In some cases, you could think about this as something that keeps the heat in. If you think back to your hydro flask lab, if you were using something like styrofoam, that was an insulator. It was something that was designed to keep the heat in your cup. One of the ways that they usually work is that they're a material that traps in air pockets, and it makes it very easy to trap that heat in by basically trapping it. And there's a much bigger list of insulators than there are conductors. But once you have this written in, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our next step. So press pause, and once you have these in, move on to the next piece. All right, we're going to do a little game here, and this is going to help you fill in the examples or pictures piece. Wooden spoon, conductor or insulator? Give yourself 5 seconds to take a guess. If you guessed an insulator, you would be correct. Wood has a lot of air pockets in it, so it makes for a great natural insulator. It does not transfer heat well. Here's our next one. A chunk of metal. This looks like iron before you're about to forge it into a different shape. Conductor or insulator? If you chose conductor, you would be correct. This transfers heat very well. In fact, you can tell that by the glowing here, that it really wants to move that heat out of it. It wants to keep moving the heat. Next one. How about a window? Is a window a conductor or an insulator? The glass in the window. If you chose insulator, you would be correct. Glass actually is more of an insulator than a conductor. It can still transfer heat. You can still burn yourself on it. But for the most part, it really wants to act more as a insulator. Next one. Again, a glass bottle, even though these are red hot because glass can be melted down on earth and reforged, it is still more of an insulator. Once it loses that heat, it does not want to give it off as well as, let's say, metal. So this might be more of an example of something that's like in between, but I would say it's more of an insulator. And that's it. If you can think of any other materials, I know one of the biggest insulators, you should all have one for winter, is like a big puffy coat that's designed to trap your own body heat within. And please move on to the next slide.